Hi there. So this is the story of how I tracked down my parents' wedding car in the United States and brought it back to the UK. And it's quite a long story, so I'll start off with my love for 2CVs, which kind of originated with my dad, who had them as his first car in the 90s. And yeah, his first one was a blue one, and I think it was a late 2CV, so the chassis wasn't great because it was a Portugal-built one, and it snapped within 2 weeks. But he still really loved them. I don't know why he decided to stick with them, but he then got a racing blue one, which he then realised he didn't like. So then he bought a white one, which he'd had restored, and they were worth basically nothing then, so he got it restored really cheaply, and it was absolutely mint. And then he crashed that when he was falling asleep. But his last one was a red one that he bought in 1999, and that is the one that I grew up with. My parents in 2001 decided to get married, and they figured, why spend money on a classic car when you've already got one? So he spent hours polishing it, and my granddad drove it all the way to the church in second gear, apparently, because he didn't know how the gear stick worked. And I remember when I was little driving around all the country lanes in that car, and it meant so much to me. You know, it was really my kind of first experience of a classic car, and ever since then I've always loved classic cars more, especially 2CVs. And I remember my parents having a conversation that it wasn't safe for me at that age to have it anymore, and it wasn't starting in the winter. They weren't really worth much, so he just sold it, got rid of it. And I remember being really upset about that, and he told me that one day we'd get another one. But since then, 2CVs have always been my favourite car. I don't know why. They're not the fastest, they're not the most attractive, they're just really interesting, and obviously I think they just have some kind of connection to me from when I was so little. But I came to about the age of 17, so this was like a year or two ago, and I've always kind of wanted to have a 2CV as my first car. I wanted to know what actually happened to our last one, so I searched up the number plate on Google, and I found it on an auction site in about 2013. I don't know why the page was still up, and I phoned up the auction site and I was like, "Hi, we used to own this car, what happened to it?" And they said, "Oh, it ended up going to America, and I'm afraid we can't tell you the contact details." I was like, you know, that's fair enough, it's confidentiality. And I decided to take matters into my own hands, so I did a lot more research on the car, and I ended up finding it, and finding where it had been shipped to. It had been shipped to Boca Grande in Florida. I think I'm pronouncing that right, I'm not actually very sure. But anyway, I managed to find who owned it, and I got in contact after a lot of digging with the owner's son on Instagram, and I messaged him like, "Hi, I think I used to own your car, could I possibly, you know, have contact with your mum?" And he was like, "Oh, she's actually thinking about getting rid of it." Yeah, I managed to get in contact with her, and she was really lovely about it all and said that I could have it for free. And I was absolutely like in complete shock, and I couldn't believe what was happening. So I organised with My Car Import to get it imported to the UK. My Car Import seemed quite appealing because they do a package where they can get it MOT'd and taxed and re-registered and shipped all in like kind of one go. So after months and months, the car finally arrived in the UK, and it failed its MOT very badly, extremely badly. And I don't think they have quite the same regulations in America because it had still been running over there, but here it wasn't meeting the standards. Okay, so after 14 years, we have finally seen our red 2CV. Here it is, in the 2CV graveyard. Hopefully it will be out of the 2CV graveyard at some point. But there
good to see it.
It is very good to see it. I can't believe it. It's come from all the way from America, and there it is. Very cool. But now I've got it being stored locally in my village in a little barn, and I'm just slowly trying to save up the money so I can get it restored. But for now it's just going to sit there, and I'm just going to sit there and kind of enjoy it, I guess. But yeah, that's the story. There you go.